it's Saturday morning at around 9:30, and I know I said the next episode was going to be about the Ferrari, but I got a really good response following episode 1, and I figured maybe I need to squeeze some more content in sooner than later. I don't know if it's what you guys want to see, so you got to let me know, but I've got to change the water pump on the M3 today, and I got to finish up by about 4 o'clock. That should be easy if I don't hit any snags, but I've got to hit the road because I've got a track day tomorrow at Buttonwillow Raceway. I figured I'd get the time-lapse camera running and run this guy, talk to you guys a bit about what I've got going on, and maybe give a glimpse at what a normal shop day looks like. For now though, I've got to get this thing going, so let's get underway. Alright, so I got the water pump off. Everything went really smoothly. It only took about 30 minutes to get everything disassembled. Really went without a hitch. The only problem that I encountered was a slight miscalculation on the amount of water left in the cooling system. I pulled the upper radiator pipe off, there was nothing in it. Pulled the mid pipe off that attaches to the water pump itself. Only a dribble came out, pulled the water pump itself, and got some on the floor. Fortunately, it wasn't enough to, like spill out from under the car or anything, but gotta clean that up once we're done. The old pump, definitely due for a replacement. I mean, this thing is disgusting, it's nasty. It's also been on the car for 20 or 25 years. That was the last time the car was really raced and maintained. When I bought it, I did a bunch of things to it, lots of preventative maintenance, but I didn't replace the water pump because it wasn't being problematic, which is, I guess, why I'm replacing the water pump the day before track day. The new water pump is stamped BMW, it's a legitimate piece, it's really nice. This is gonna do the trick, except it does have the M3 tax applied to it, which sucks. It hurts the wallet a lot. Instead of like an M10 water pump that's probably $100, this thing is 500 bucks. And that's like relatively cheap. You can go out and you can find them on some retailers for like 800-900 bucks, even 1,000. BMW's proud of them. I'm gonna put this thing back on. I'm gonna prep the mating surface, make sure everything's clean. It should be relatively simple to put it all back together. But before I do, I was going to show you guys two things. So the first of which is, some of you guys may not even be familiar with this car. It's formerly a BMW CCA Club Racer, and it was raced in the late 90s and early 2000s. And the coolest part about it is this engine. It is a 2.5 liter based on the, I want to say, like Euro Sport, Evo Sport motor, Evo 3. One of you guys tell me, I should know that, that's embarrassing. Euro 2.5 liter engine. This one's got headwork, cams, high compression pistons, tune, runs on race gas. This thing flies. It really moves. It's a ton of fun to drive. It's what makes this car what it is. It's why I enjoy it. The other thing is way more nerdy. Maybe you'll find this interesting, maybe you won't, but it's kind of quirky. So the factory thermostat housing on this car is really bizarre. Instead of being off of the cylinder head or off of the water pump itself, it's floating, hanging by the coolant hoses. Check this out. So that's the guy right there, hanging out. And that's factory. And so as you can see, coolant is either contained or it flows through the radiator once the thermostat opens. And I have no idea why BMW did that. One of you guys may be able to say like, oh, here's this brilliant reason. I couldn't tell you. I think it's really goofy. I think it maybe makes it easier to replace, but I couldn't tell you anything more than that. But it's there, it's a quirk of the car. I figured I'd show it to you since I'm in here. So let's get this thing cleaned up, put back together, and we'll take it for a test drive. So, car's back together, went together without any problems whatsoever, and it's about ready to put water in it, but I needed to put away some tools beforehand to make sure everything's all cleaned up. And while I did that, I figured it might be a good opportunity to talk about some tools that I like, because maybe one of you will enjoy that, or find something useful about it, who knows. First and foremost is, I know you probably saw one during the video, this one right here. I absolutely love the Milwaukee M18 and M12 fuel tools. They're not the cheapest things in the world, but it's a lot cheaper than something like a Snap-on electric system. And you can find them at Home Depot, you can find them online, and they're always going up on sale. So the coolest part is, I think my last purchase was I bought this kind of smaller, quick release impact so I can put a 1/4, 3/8, or 1/2 inch bit in the end of it. I got this and a drill and 2 of these batteries, which normally retail by themselves for like $100 or $150 a piece. That whole kit was, I wanna say, like 200 bucks. So you can really outfit your shop or your garage with some really powerful, really high-end tools for not a ton of money. I think I buy myself 1 a year maybe, just kind of a treat to myself when I see a tool that I like. And I've, over the years, I've amassed a whole drawer of them. I've got the big 1/2 inch impact, I've got right angle drills, angle grinders, you name it. And it's all stuff that's worth investing in. You can never go wrong with buying good tools for yourself. And these, highly recommended. I wish Milwaukee was paying me to say this stuff, because they're not, but I can say this stuff on my own accord. The other one is kind of counter to that when it comes to buying expensive tools. My toolbox is full of cheap stuff. I don't use my tools to make a living, so to speak. I'm not a mechanic by trade. However, I will say the most worthwhile investment, the only Snap-on tools I have are Snap-on ratchets. I made the decision along with Riley a couple years ago when we were, running Proto Machine. We said, hey, let's buy some good ratchets. Maybe it's worth it, because we had both broken, I can't even count how many ratchets, over years of wrenching, whether it's the teeth coming out, breaking off, the actual socket attachment breaking off, handles bending, things like that. We said, hey, let's buy something worthwhile. Bought these, and I would never go back. It's worth every penny, even though they are kind of expensive, sometimes 150 bucks even. I think one of these in here is I think like this one is almost $200. But, maybe treat yourself on occasion. Don't go into toolbox debt. Don't go owe the Snap-on guy a bunch of money. That's not a good plan. But on occasion, treat yourself to something. These will last you forever, and I'm telling you, they're worth every penny. You can't go wrong with it. Past that, like I said, this toolbox is full of cheap stuff. Even my sockets are relatively inexpensive. I like buying stuff that has a lifetime warranty, even though I'm the kind of guy that doesn't wind up using it. It's worth having on occasion. But as said, you really can't go wrong with investing in good tools for yourself on occasion. I like to spend a bit of money. It's totally worth it. Hopefully that'll give you guys some idea of how to outfit your shop too. So let's put some water in the M3 and take it for a test drive around the block and see how it does. So there's one other thing I realized that I want to do today as I was kind of loading stuff into the car and getting all my stuff together, if you can hear me over the neighbor's router. This is an AIM Solo. It's a first generation unit. It's kind of older, but it's a really cool data acquisition tool that'll tell you not only your lap time and predictive lap time, but if you load the information onto a computer, it'll actually tell you where you can find time. It'll analyze your lap data and kind of let you overlay it over the track map, things like that. The problem is the mount that I got with it, I got a good deal because it's broken, and the ear on this side of it is I don't even know how it's hanging on. It does, it works, but it means I can't adjust it. It's a pain in the ass. So what I need to do is pull these 2 bolts out of it and take this quick mount plate, and I'm gonna mount it to my dash. I have a carbon fiber panel in there. I'll show you guys. This should be really simple. It's just 2 holes, and it's gonna make for a much easier to use system. So there you have it. Now it's mounted to the dash. You'll be able to see it while I'm driving. Much better positioning than where it was before, and nice and easily removable. It's around lunchtime on Sunday. We got to the track yesterday without a hitch. It was my first time towing with the OBS Ford, and it did phenomenally. I couldn't be happier with it. It didn't care that the trailer and the M3 were behind it at all. Got up here the earliest I ever have. I think Emily and I arrived around 7 o'clock, just in time for dinner, and got an early night's sleep. Got out here this morning, and as expected, very foggy, very cold. First session out, I'm happy to say I did the best I've ever done. My former previous best was a 206.04, and I'm happy to say I did a 204.98. That was beyond expectations. I really came out hoping to get a 204, but to get it in the first session was hugely rewarding, and could have ended the day there, but thankfully my second session went even better. I went out saying if I can break into the 203s, I'd be ecstatic. But I came off track having put down a 202.95. I couldn't believe it. I had said previously if I put down a 202, I'd be ecstatic. I didn't even know I was at that point as a driver yet, so to be there right now is a huge thrill. It makes today hugely worth it. The car is doing great, obviously. It's a bit slick underneath me, I think maybe due to the temperatures of the tarmac, but it's been really fun. The back of the car has just been real loose, stepping out. It's made for a thrilling drive today. The cooling system is doing perfect. Car hasn't had any issues. Overall, just a really good Sunday. It's these types of days is why, you know, all of us come out here to do this kind of thing, and it's been really rewarding. I could load up the car and head home now, but I'm glad to say there's 3 more sessions. I don't expect to go any faster today. I think I have tapped myself out. Anything else would be icing on the cake, but we're gonna see how it goes. Unfortunately, my in-car footage for this morning did not record. I messed up, I dropped the ball, I'm not sure how, but I'll make the best of it. We'll see if I can't get some footage of the second half of the day, but no matter what, success. shop. It's Monday. I'm happy to say I had a great rest of the weekend. The car did great, no further snags, and after having my lap data analyzed for the first time by one of my best friends, Amir Benatu, I went out and ran a 202.62, my best ever, almost another half second off of my best time earlier in the day. So it was a fantastic day overall, exceeded every expectation. And my predictive time showed me on a 201 before I ate it in the last turn. So I'm really eager to get back out there and find that time. I know it's on the table and mine for the taking. However, now that we're back in the shop, it's time to turn my attention back to the Ferrari. I'm eager to get started on this thing. I've got episode 3 coming up here in a few days, so be patient and I'll be back soon. Thank you guys. If you guys like what you watched today, let me know in the comments. If you want to support this channel for future videos, hit the like and subscribe buttons. It makes a huge difference on my end, and it'll ensure you don't miss the next episode.